and welcome everyone. It's Shanna Makes It, and I am back for another not too shabby monthly mood board inspiration. And I have got the hashtag Coffee and Books Volume 2. There's 12 designs of the 6x6 sheets, and they're double-sided. And we've got some really neat patterns here. I've dug into them and cut them up a little bit already. We've got some coffee beans, some coffee cups. Here we've got some, looks like some cinnamon rolls and some croissants and some muffins and some coffee and latte and all that. Some polka dots and some coffee. We're going to be working with this pattern today on one of our cards. And we've got the Coffee and Books Volume 2 ephemera. And we've got a lot of different pieces here. We've got some of those square scene ones with coffees and books. We've got some books. There's some lavender there. We've got a bunch of coffee cups. This one I actually took and stamped "You Fill My Cup" on. We've got a to-go coffee cup. And we've got some girls with some books. We've got some really comfy furniture and decor that I'm going to use today, some of the furniture. And lots of different coffee options, a churner and coffee cups. Just lots of different colors. We've kind of got a blue-gray in here with this. It's really pretty. I like that additional color there. We've got a backpack and some books. And here's some more of the scene cards. Here's another gal here with that pretty blue background. And here's one of the comfy chairs. I'm going to use one of the comfy chairs today. We've got some typewriters, some bookcases, some more scenes, and just a variety of things. So a really fun set of ephemera. And there's a lot in there, so you can certainly make a lot of cards with it. And then you've got the 12 designs, and I think there are 4 of each. So you've got plenty of paper to work with. So I've already designed my card layouts, and I'm just going to bring them in and show you what I've got. So I'm going to start with this shaker card that I've created, and I'm just going to bring in my card base. I'm going to give it a good press because I just cut it and scored it. So what I've done here is, I'm going to lay all this aside. I brought in our polka dot paper, and I did a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to lay that down. And we've got a craft layer that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then we've got a 3 3/4 by 5 of our pattern paper with the coffee on it. And I really like this pattern. I thought it would make a nice background. Thought it was very pretty. It has the polka dot on the back, so you can see we're using 2 of those sheets today. And then I've created a shaker. I used another one of the sheets and created a window, and I put acetate on the front and the back because I want to be able to see my coffee through there. And I just brought in some milk chocolate dots, shaker bits, and that's what I've got in there. And then we're going to use this piece of ephemera with our owl, our books, and our coffee cup. And I brought in some jute that I have made a double bow with. So we're just going to get to assembling our card, and I think it's going to come together real quickly. And I really like the design. I like the colors, the tone, and the layering of all of the different pieces. So I think it's going to come together nice if I can get my glue bottle to work. Okay, so let's see if we can get this glue to come out. There we go. Just needed a little prompting. So we'll get this laid down on there, and we'll get our first card made. I'm going to bring in this glue bottle and tilt that thing upside down so maybe the glue will be ready when we're ready to go. So we just got a real pretty polka dot pattern paper. I think that's really nice. And then we're going to layer this up on there. This is just some craft cardstock. Always like using craft. It's always fun to work with. So we'll just layer it up. So I want to talk about the challenge, the monthly mood board challenge. You have a chance to win a prize. What you do is you can go to the Love from Lizzie shop and check out the blog. I'll try and link it in the description box below so you can see it. But they put out an inspirational challenge every month. They kind of give you a color palette and a mood board that you can go off of, and it gives you something to go off of, and then you can contribute cards to the challenge. And so I encourage you to check it out. You know, even if you're just looking for some ideas for kind of kickstarting your craft making or your cards or whatever, it's a good place to start because it can give you a color scheme and kind of a theme that you can use to go off of. And it just will kind of help to inspire and spark your creativity. So isn't this pretty? I really like that pattern. I thought that'd be really pretty, and I wanted it to show through. So that's why I created this shaker card with the 2 pieces of acetate. So basically, I just to use my frame dies, 2 of them, I layered them up, and I brought in, you know, a piece of the patterned paper here, and just cut it out, and then I took and layered up 2 other sides of the frames and die cut that out so that I've got a layer of vellum. And I thought it would look really pretty, and we could set it down on here and still see our coffee through there. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to get it laid down on our card base. So we're going to be careful to put, actually I think I'll go ahead and pop this up again, because I think it'll be even more interesting to have a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and add some additional foam tape and pop it up again. And that way we'll just have a little bit more dimension, because this is a fairly simple card, but lovely. I really like it. I think it's really pretty. And I want to make sure that is not showing in my window, so I'm going to move that a little bit. There we go. And we'll get it popped up. And just one more piece. And I really don't need that much on there. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to hold the bits in with this. I've already got the bits contained. So I've got a piece of acetate that was poking out there. So we'll just pull these backer sheets off of here, and we'll get this laid down on our card. So I'm just going to take it, and I kind of want to get it to where that coffee right there is in my window. And so I'm going to get it laid down on there. Try and make it even. There we go. Now we've got a fun little shaker card, and we've got an area that we can add our little owl. I want to get our owl stuck down there. And then I've got my bow that I'm going to bring in and put here on this corner here. So we'll go ahead and get this laid down, and I think I'll just use some double-sided tape. Just bring this double-sided tape in, and we'll use it just to keep from making a gluey mess and, you know, messing up our window. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to bring in a couple of strips of double-sided tape. Get those laid down there. And then I need to roll this up. I went a little bit long, so we'll just roll that up. And then we're going to just give it a little press. Get it laid down on there nice and neat. And then for this, I've brought in my little foam, or these little dots. They're journey dots. They're just little dots that you can add, and it'll hold your twine on there. And I'm just going to press one down there on my little frame. If I can get it to stick. There we go. And we'll do that. And I think I'll even put a dot of glue there so that it will hold. And we'll get our little bow laid down on there. And I think this is a really fun card. Super fun. Have a little piece of something on there. So you could use this for anything. You don't necessarily need a sentiment. So let's go ahead and go on to our next card. So I'm going to bring in my card base, and I've prepared all of my pieces here. I've got some matte gold cardstock that we're going to use, and we're just going to get it laid down on our card base. And we're doing some layering again on this. Keeping it simple, but bringing in some different panels that I think will look lovely together. I'm going to lay that like that. It had a spot on there I didn't want to see. So we've got that laid down there. And this is metallic, so I'm going to make sure my glue spreads out. I've got plenty of layers to cover up if anything that shows. Now here I've got the coffee bean paper. On the back we've got this here that has the writing and has like the little, I don't know, almost like dessert, you know, or even I guess a fun breakfast, a ritzy breakfast, I guess, with a, whatever you want to call it. That's cute pattern paper there too. But I wanted to use the beans for this. So we're just going to get it laid down on our card base. So we've got 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then we've got 4 by 5 1/4 is what we've got on the next layer. And then for my next layer, I've actually got, I used a panel to die cut it out so that I have a scalloped edge. I want to go ahead and put some foam tape on the back of this and kind of strengthen it a little bit. It is thin metallic paper, and so it's a little bit wavy. So I'm just going to put some foam tape on here and just kind of firm it up. I'm going to avoid the scalloped edges, but we'll do the frame area here. And I don't think we have to be that close together. Just add another piece. I really like this metallic paper with the pattern paper that we have. I had this in my stash, and I just brought it in to go with it. So be sure and look in your stash for things that coordinate with your new products that come in so that you can be using all of your stuff. I think it always also helps to occasionally go through your stuff. I reorganize and move things around on a regular basis, and I always find stuff that I've forgotten that I have, or things that I really loved and that I've forgotten that I have. And so it reminds me of that, and it gives me a chance to bring those things out. So I encourage you to do that as well. So I'm just going to get this layered up on here, try and get it as straight as I can. And we've got some dimension on there now. And so next is our vellum layer, and I've just cut it to go around this panel here. I tried to size this to where my chair and my bookcase would fit on there. And then I found I have just a little container that has a bunch of sentiments that have already been die cut out for one reason or another. And I decided to just grab it, use it, and pull in a sentiment. So I've just got thanking of you we're going to use on this card. And I don't even know where it's from. I think it might be a cat scrappiness sentiment. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I'm just going to layer this up as well. And we'll have a nice little edge around there. I went ahead and just used glue because I've got plenty of space to get it adhered, to get my acetate adhered. And then we'll just glue it up and we'll get it laid down. And now we'll have a place for our focal point. So I'm just going to get this laid down inside of our stitched area. Give it a good press. And my thoughts were that I would have my bookcase kind of in the background and then have my comfortable chair in front of it. And that way I could just kind of create a little scene. So we'll go ahead and get our bookcase laid down. That looks nice. And then for my chair, I think I'll bring in some foam and pop it up just to add a little bit more dimension to our card. And I had another little bow that I wanted to bring in, and I think I might have knocked it off on the floor. Where did it go? So let me pause for a minute and find it, and I'll be right back. Well, I'm not sure where it went. I had it all tied up and ready to go, so we're just going to have to tie another one and get it ready to go. Sometimes that happens. I'm sure I'll find it later. As soon as I get this one cut and tied up and ready to go, I'll be sure and find the one that I had previously. So I don't want these to be too big. We don't need a very big bow. I wanted to add it. I was thinking of adding it with my sentiment somehow, but I'm not sure that it'll fit. I think we could do it like that and just have a little bit of texture on our card. So let's do that. We'll go ahead and add some glue to this and get it laid down. Just our little thinking of you. Let's see, is that straight? I think it is. And then I'm going to bring in another one of those dots. I think I'm going to stick it on the back of my bow this time because I want to double check the placement of my bow with my sentiment. Not sure if I want it to be that close, or maybe we'll put it on the kind of on the diagonal there. And that'll finish up our second card. I think they're super cute. We've got a lot of dimension, and we've got a shaker, and we have the texture from the bow. And then this one, we've got the shine from the metallic paper. We've got the vellum, and then we've got a little texture from our bow. So I hope you like them. I hope you were inspired, and I hope you will check out Not Too Shabby's monthly mood board. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.